I want to get y'all opinion on what this one social media had to say. Dr. Alejandro at I Am the Flyer said, can we all agree that section and bottle service culture ruined the club experience? What's y'all take on that? Can we all agree that section and bottle club service culture ruined the club experience? So, being here in Atlanta, I'm plugged in with a lot of friends that own restaurants, lounges, bars. I'm plugged in with a lot of promoters. And here is what's funny now. They have gotten so accustomed to doing bottle service, table service, and sections that in their mind now, their mind tells them they can't make any money without selling tables. Like, I have my promoter friends that text me when they're having parties and stuff, and they're like, Q, just reaching out to see if you want a table. Quiet as it's kept, they are not even concerned about general admission patrons. They are not concerned one bit. And you can tell because the clubs, the lounges, they no longer cater to the person that just wants to come in, pay their $10, $15, $20 and dance. I want to add one thing to this list. I think tables and bottle sections, tables, bottle service ruin the club. And I also think cell phones and social media ruined the club. Like, there is nothing worse than being out in public and a person can't enjoy the moment because they're too busy scrolling to their phone, trying to find the appropriate Snapchat filter, trying to purposely blow hookah in such a way to look cool on the doggone phone. Quiet as it's kept, now that I think about it, I clubbed real hard in college and shortly thereafterwards. And to be very honest with you, when we were in college, there was no place to sit at the club at all. I don't know about where y'all went to college at, but when we were in college, there was at the Moon in Tallahassee, there was somewhere to sit up at the little top, but nobody was even pressed about sitting down. That was the last thing anybody was worried about. Now, in the 2000s, I graduated college 05. When I moved back to Miami and my homegirls started like entertaining football players and athletes and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? I would go to the club with them. The tables and stuff were reserved for like football players and entertainers. Regular people like us still was not worried about no table. Yeah, you felt like you was a little somebody if you was able to get in on a football player name and sit at their table, but it was still all about the dance floor. These days and times now, just the whole concept of dance floor has gone away. Nobody even goes to the club anymore. And I'm going to tell you something. And if the club business wasn't so risky and you and y'all cousins wasn't so crazy, I wouldn't even mind going into the club business with somebody and naming it the club. Okay. And literally there wouldn't be a chair in sight. There would not be a chair in sight. And the only rule is, back in them college days, when you leave here, your mascara need to be running, your shoes need to be in your hand, and your hair need to be swollen. I remember all the girls in college used to have the Delta do. They used to have the Delta do, the bouncy rap. And baby, that rap would be bouncing and flowing at the time we got in the club. But by the time we left the club, that bad boy would be an afro, mascara would be down to here, shirt would be wet, dress and dress shirt to be cocked to the side. And quite frankly, no matter how much of a foot dragger you might have looked walking out the club with no shoes on, every man had no shirt on. The Q Dogs was outside hopping with no shirts on, and all the girls had no shoes on. Feet was just as dirty and black at the bottom as they wanted to be. That was a good time. Mind you, we went to the club dressed like we was going to a job interview, bitch. Okay, so blazer, express blouse, all shit just be balled up. Don't even know where your shirt. That was the time. And for the life of me, I don't understand why we went to the club looking nice, but we left looking dogged out and ran through. We could have saved ourselves a whole lot of time and a whole lot of money getting dressed had we just went to that bad boy in our gym clothes. But we lived and had a good time. When I be going to the club now, I be going with James. James be dragging me. James a little younger than me. My friend James, now he a little younger than me. He all about the bottles and the clubs and in the chairs and stuff. I will say this: at 41, when I'm thrust to be in an environment that I really don't want to be in, I do like a little sit down and a little cocktail. But I wish I was sitting down and observing other people dancing and having a good time now. People don't dance and have a good time anymore. Those were the good days. Shouts out to everybody that was in Tallahassee while I was there, 2001 through 2005. Y'all know about the Moon, Late Night Library, Sloppy Joe's, CPA, Bullwinkles, I mean, Chubby's, Club Deep, all them clubs we used to go to back in Tallahassee. That was a good time. Guys, let me see what somebody said. Shouts out to Miss Parker, who said when club owners of nicer establishments began to cater to street dealers and neighborhood rappers, the allure faded. I agree with you. I mean, quiet as it's kept, there used to be a time when you actually could go to the club and meet somebody different, meet somebody decent. I wouldn't even try to talk to nobody that I meet in no doggone club these days and times. Quiet as it's kept. Shouts out to Tallahassee. If anybody in the chat right now knew about them Tallahassee days, let me just put Tally Ho in the chat right now. I want to know how much of Tallahassee who was there when I was there, who understand everything that I'm saying. Put Tally Ho in the chat right now if you knew what I'm talking about back in them Tallahassee days. Yes, God, Tallahassee flooding it out. Tallahassee flooding out the chat. Tallahassee. If you ain't go to college in Tallahassee, bitch, you did not go to college. And I stand by that. I will stand in front of a speeding train and look any bitch in the face and say, if you didn't go to college in Tallahassee, bitch, you didn't go to college. Okay? Come on, Tally. Look how Tally flooding out the chat. If you did not go to Tallahassee for college, you didn't go to college. You simply went to class. There's a difference.